and it was really, really nice to play.
Can you hear me?
I'm not sure if we lost
I
connection.
think we lost connection temporarily, and I'm looking at my streaming software. It lost completely connection.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Okay,
to
so
check
I will.
If everything is fine.
I will pause for a moment.
I think we are back up. No, we are
okay.
not. Come on. Just it will try to reconnect in 5 seconds.
Okay.
We dropped some frames. My internet is not behaving. And yay, we are okay. We arrived. So again from the start for Baratheon. Welcome. Sorry about the interruption.
Okay. So about our Baratheon deck, about Bara Conclave. It was my deck from the half year ago. It was built by two main factors because Marwyn with Conclave gives so big amount of options to play, and also Gormon, who lets to play the first card from our deck. It is very well set deck in terms of it plays. It always has what I need this deck to have, and also our player, Baratheon player Makak, knows how to play it. And the other side of this deck is the Soros Saving the Kingdom combo, already well known.
Yeah.
Here we have only one at the Palace of Sorrows, because in tests we decided that we have to have more answers to another type of decks than big guys. But I think that this deck is most flexible of our decks. It can play with against Rush. It can play against other control. It has a good draw, stabilized power gain because of this Throne Chamber old combo. Also, this deck was I shared my original Conclave list with Hano, and I know that he modified by himself this deck and played with successes in some German cups. And now I think that Hano also plays Bara Conclave in World Cup.
Maybe we have scheduled interview with him for the later part of the week, but yeah. Okay, next, Greyjoy, Banner Dragon.
I think that Greyjoy deck is the deck that I have at very, very small to say, because it is built and driven by Olo. Olo is our old Polish champion. Very, very good player, but he has very unusual approach to deck building. He always builds his decks on his own, and very often he is strongly disagrees with other players' opinion. But I think it is unique in the World Cup. That's a Greyjoy Dragon. But I think that it's pretty straightforward. It has big guys, a lot of small charts to give better setups, and a lot of standing with Queen's Guard and Plaza of Pride to make multiple challenges with these big guys. Also the Balon and John God Fanatic combo. So yeah, I think that it's pretty clear. It has twice a time of plenty, and siege preparations, because the main problem or the main issue how to manage with all this discard is to have reasonable amount of draw. So that's why this plot looks like that.
2 copies of Brazen Beast for all the discard.
Yeah, Brazen Beast was something that it was very discussed in our team, but we didn't convince Olo to choose something else. But Brazen Beasts have one big advantage, because with Plaza of Pride they send all Greyjoy 7 costers.
Yeah, that is.
And they get back from discard, so they have some yeah. And fishing nets are, I think, mainly to help against Nothing Burns, like the gold, to save Queensguard.
Okay, interesting. One range. Why Reigns in one Easter?
Yeah, with Lani we had a very, very long discussion, and to the very last moment, we were wondering if Głowa should play Lani Reigns or a more shadow approach with House with the Red Door and Bolos of the Casterly Rock, or Lani Kraken, also a shadow deck with Night Flyer and Tyrion recursion. But finally we decided that Reigns are quite well-known archetype. It is quite good when it works. Of course, it is susceptible to kneel and to icon removal. It is a huge problem it was always a huge problem both for Lani Reigns and Lani Crossing. But also in the terms which will be better, Reigns or Crossing, we thought that Reigns are a little bit more controlling deck, so they have more options. They are more flexible than Crossing, which is very, very quick, very, very fast, but quite straightforward. And here there are some more nuances and tricks to play.
Okay.
As you can see, there is Hands of Gold and Pinch of Powder, which are good against big guys. And
I mean, I'm looking at the double heads on spikes and I cringe, but that's what you have to do in one, I guess.
Yeah, this Cersei and heads on and twice heads on spikes is just like in I think every Lannister Crossing deck, because it's just to fast power gain. Also with Casterly Rock and Small Council Chamber. So it is a little bit rush deck, but with this Reigns module to have some a bit of control.
There is the Skim Pot is without the shadow removal. Wasn't necessary with the hit on shadows?
Yeah, we was in all our team we have quite a small amount of barring the gates and also exposed duplicity, because we assume that without Kingdom Shadows the shadow decks will be manageable to beat, and there will be a little bit less necessary to have.
Oh, come on. Oh. Saved. Yeah, I mean, we are running 2 shadow decks in our team, so... but helps to see that it's not that much hate for shadow. Martel Banner of the Wolf, a standard attrition deck.
Yeah, it's standard attrition. It was our Myrtle player, Capson, is very, very used to play Myrtle. He was quite obvious choice for Myrtle player. And he decided that with Desert Rider and Ward available in one deck, it was quite obvious that he wants to play Myrtle Wolf. He was considering Knights of the Hollow Hill like we had last year, but we thought that this attrition with this restricted list will be better with Banner Wolf. For now, it's hard to say anything how it performs against big guys and against rush decks, because Capson in 2 first rounds was matched with other Myrtle players with Wars to Come and Assaults from the Shadows, so different, very different decks. But yeah, both these games were very, very long and very slow in terms of gaining power. Of course,
it's Martel. It's the Martel way. So why 63 cards? Not
Excuse
61. Why 63 cards? Not 61. Not 60. 63.
Capson also always has problem what to remove, and he decided that, well, it isn't that bad to have 3 additional cards, and he has Citadel Archivist. I think I don't see now his deck because
there is one.
Okay. I'm not sure really. I would probably remove some cards, but I have to say that also my deck has 61 cards, so I'm maybe not the best guy to say why 63.
Next is Mystery Knight. Radek deck. So Valerian Steel.
Excuse me, I have some. Oh, there is some noise here. Okay, our Mr. Knight Radek, he plays Targaryen Valerian Steel, and it's quite well-known archetype. He has some tricks here, as you can see, 1 Dracarys to for opponents, because they always have to think if he has this Dracarys or not. Also has an interesting plot deck from my point of view because he has several options to start, because he can start with Prince who was promised and bring Danny into battlefield, or he can just start with At the Gates, quite classic start. But yeah, he has a lot of big guys, and he just plays Voltron on one of them.
I see Miri.
With latest inclusion, I think it was Miri Mazdur, who can be Queen Guard, and it's
Yes.
very scary for opponents.
Yeah, Miri is very scary.
To face Miri, especially Miri with serious training and Queen's Guard, it is hard to fight with her.
Yeah. So next is Night's Watch, Knights of the Whole Hue, Attrition deck. How was
Yeah,
this influenced from my deck? I've played 2 years in Stalek, Knights of the Whole Hue. All decks are posted. So
maybe I was not very into building this deck because I have played Night's Watch a lot, but tried Knights of the Whole Hill for a very short period, and I decided that I quite dislike playing this agenda because it has too slow start against rush decks. And I really don't like Big Wall, neither to play against it nor with it. But I definitely admit that it is very strong.
it's thematic. Everyone should defend the wall. It doesn't
Yeah, everyone
matter.
should defend the wall. Also, already in first round, we saw this while Templar was playing against another Knights of the Hollow Hill deck, but Stark one, and there are a lot of Starks defending the wall there.
Yeah.
It is. It has some painful tricks. It isn't at all a choke deck because it doesn't have even white tree, but it has naval.
Yeah.
So it may. We were wondering if it is a good option in open environment and with open deck lists, but decided that it will be if there will be no good opening, non-kingdom opening in opponent's deck, we'll probably have to choose something suboptimal. And Templar always may start with Fallen from Favor, which is quite good opening for Knights of the Hollow Hill. 10 gold, sure initiative, and no. Yeah. I just read what's on the chat.
Yes, I do not agree with the number of marches in that deck, but that's
Yeah.
everyone's own preferability.
Yeah, I think that there was Templar wanted to make some different choices in both in plot deck and in main deck because he wanted to make a headache for his opponent what to play. But in first round it was quite easy because it was good matchup against Stark Knights of the Hollow Hill. Stark already had Ramsay Snow and 2 March, so they were discarding their own characters anyway. But Templar was able to recruit them, so it was quite favorable matchup. Yeah, but now he'll face Burn, and we wonder if the Burn player from Greece will have to burn his own characters. It would be quite funny.
Yeah, we will see. And then next is the Star Crossing list, where the crossing looks like everyone's playing Star Crossing. I mean, Weimann probably makes sense then, but
I wasn't that sure that I was expecting more Stark fealty decks, but I'm not very specialized in Stark, so maybe Crossing is really it is quite easy to play. I think that there are several decisions to make, especially when choosing the plots. If there is a good option to sacrifice someone in first place in first round to bring Wyman or Caitlyn or Rob onto the battlefield. But I think it's quite straightforward. Of course, there is Mira as a rest trick because Mira Wyman is so broken combo that I have already said that it shouldn't happen. Yeah, and it's just a very fast rush deck.
If we quote yesterday, Chris from the Netherlands team said, "Star Crossing is stupid." So
yeah.
it's that it is a pretty. It's a pretty strong consider. Although we do not consider the crossing there just because it was taken for another faction, but still a very strong choice with Tark. Targaryen.
Targaryen, as I said, it was our probably first deck that we decided that we will have in our team. It's Camille deck, quite similar to last year, and it's one new approach to very, very old archetype of Smash Bros. Decks with Cal and Jamie. So I think, Atanas Karanov said that for this night was that current player doesn't run markets. Our Targ player just has Targ Lion deck, which is quite fast. He can merge of characters on board. In first round, I think it murdered like 12 drowned god characters from the very beginning of the game, because they were Ilin paid with Queensguard, so he was like an
on the chopping block.
It was a slaughter, really slaughter on the board. It has a lot of renounce, a lot of strength in both military and power, and also some intrigue tricks like with Tyrion. So yeah, it is maybe a rare archetype nowadays, but it is still very, very useful. It lacks now with restricted list. It lacks return to the fields, but in tests, Camille proved that he can play without it, and great holes are too important with this big amount of big dudes.
Yeah, the curve is pretty high.
Yeah, curve is pretty high, but it is completely manageable with great holes.
Yeah, at the gate solves all our problems. It's in 60% of the decks. Yeah. And last but not least, your deck.
My Tyrell deck. It's white book. I saw that it isn't only one white book in World Cup. I think that mine is maybe more different from others, because I think that all 3 other white books decks are the versions of Benji and Hano of options from FrostDB, and I really like to build my own decks, so I wasn't checking other white book decks. It is very, very straightforward. It is very, very quick rush with a lot of renounce and standing effects with Knight of Flowers and the Shadow version, because he really boosts up Kingsguard deck. This, of course, 2 white swords give a huge tempo boost on the very beginning. It was easier to play this deck with Return to the Fields, because it is of course susceptible to both valors, to resets, but often I have so big economy, and so it is so quick that I just play, for example, Compelled by the Faith to gather my power back to faction card and play other characters and just win. It has some a little more tricks, like in events, especially because I have Nightmares and Hence Judgment, and really they are useful in almost all matchups. I think that Nightmares are one of the most flexible cards in the whole game, so they really help. And also White Sword Tower also is nice with Hence Judgment, for example, because if I have White Sword Tower and Hence Judgment in hand, I'm pretty sure that no tricks from other side will be played, because they even can't cancel my own Hence Judgment with their Hence Judgment.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We covered everything. Any last words?
I'm not sure. I would just want to say that it's very nice for all the people who are who want to organize this World Cup. It's really nice to play with all the teams. I wish there will be even more than 21 teams, but 21 is really good, already a good amount. We are very excited to play here, and well, I think that I may just wish good luck for everyone because it's still it's just a fun.
Yeah. What was it? Trans community is drama free, so all of us are
Yeah,
here
trans
for.
community is definitely drama free. No, dramas. No. There were several little dramas before the World Cup with the Catalonians and with the American teams, but now I hope that everything is solved and no one has bad feelings about this.
Yeah, it's all in the favor of a good competition. So thank
Yeah,
you again for joining me, and with everyone else from the stream and on YouTube. See you next time.
thank you very much. See you.